right, it is Saturday, November 23rd, 2024. It's actually my brother's birthday, so happy birthday, Keith. And today I wanted to talk about, Bitcoin, and specifically how most people are extremely underweight. Most people think they're too late to Bitcoin, and I am making this video to disprove that. In fact, I continue to buy Bitcoin at this level. It is just another day for me. I am almost, in a way, it's a little bittersweet seeing the price leap up. Oh, got a deer here, guys. Sorry about that. Whoa. Oh, there's about 3 of them. 4. All right. Anyways, I wanted to talk about how most people have no Bitcoin, and if they do, they have an extremely small amount, and even if they do have Bitcoin and they have a meaningful amount, I believe that most people are just going to sell it for a quick profit. I don't think most people understand what they have, and the best performers with Bitcoin are just the ones that simply bought it and did nothing else. They just held it, they didn't sell it, and they just continued buying more, possibly. And the name of the game is patience. And especially with something like Bitcoin, we've seen the price go up, 40-50% in the past month. And now we're seeing people are more interested in it because the price has gone up. It's funny, when Bitcoin goes on sale, nobody wants it. See that meme where, there's Bitcoin being sold for $15,000 and nobody wants it. There's no line at the gentleman's booth that's selling the Bitcoin for $15,000 because nobody wants $15,000 Bitcoin. Nobody wants to, to pay $150 for 0.01 Bitcoin. No, people want to wait till 0.01 Bitcoin's $1,000 like it is now. And this is just going to continue. I think people see the price nearing 100K. It's a big psychological barrier. People are going to assume the price may dip right after or even before breaching 100K. I mean, we're right there. For all we know, it could be at 100K right now. I mean, I was sitting looking at the charts. We're at 99K. It's just, the wind could blow in the right direction and we would be at 100K. And 2 years ago, I remember when Bitcoin, it was actually about almost exactly 2 years ago, Bitcoin was $15,000, $15,700. I remember watching it in real time. I remember the 1 minute chart that day when we crashed and cratered in a few days. I think we went from 20 down to like 15, and it wasn't looking good at all. I mean, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I was buying more. I really was. I didn't time the bottom perfectly, but I did nail some buys. Not that it really matters, but it was crazy seeing my portfolio, just drop so much. So I started buying Bitcoin in January 2021. That's when I started, and Bitcoin was maybe 30 grand. And then by April, it was about 70. So I was making, good money. I was doing well. And I was aware that it had these cycles generally where the price would go up a lot and then crash, correct, and then again sort of repeat the cycle. And I had the opportunity to buy Bitcoin, for $15,000, and I definitely took advantage. I wish I bought more, obviously. So, even I think one of the buys I did, it wasn't, a ton of money. Like, it was decent. It was a good amount of money for me at the time, especially considering how much everyone hated Bitcoin. And that's when SBF, that whole FTX collapse happened. No one was buying Bitcoin. I remember thinking it's going to take years and years for the market to recover from this, if it does at all. It could just be a permanent black mark that just never goes away. And it's just funny how quickly things change. I mean, 2 years is not a long time, but $15,000 Bitcoin, I think I bought maybe $200, and that was over 1% of a Bitcoin. See, wasn't a ton of money, but I bought it at the time where absolutely no one wanted. No one wanted to touch it at $15,000. They were looking for $14,000, $13,000, $12,000, $5,000 Bitcoin. They might think Bitcoin's going to zero. And just buying that and holding it, you know, it just keeps you, you know, I've performed well, and all I did was there's a lot of inactivity. Most of it is, you know, you don't try to get cute, you don't try to sell it, you don't try to do anything with it, you just buy it and hold it. And right now we're seeing the price approach $100,000. Honestly, I've been making this channel and these videos because I just see what's happening with Bitcoin, and I feel spoiled. The stars are aligning for Bitcoin practically. We have countries, we have BlackRock, we have Trump talking about this. It's mind-blowing. The ETFs absorbing Bitcoin. We have MicroStrategy with 330,000 Bitcoin. MicroStrategy is now a $100 billion company, and it's only a matter of time before they become a $1 trillion company, a $10 trillion company. And same with Bitcoin market cap. I mean, it's just people who have Bitcoin, they're just going to have more money than people who don't. The hard part is not selling it. The hard part is seeing it at $100,000 when you could have bought it at $15,000 2 years ago. But, you know, maybe in 5 years we'll look at 100,000 and just look at it like a bargain price. Bitcoin could be at $1 million per coin. A lot of people are not gonna, you know, they're not gonna buy Bitcoin. They're not gonna care about it. They're not gonna take it seriously unless it's some crazy number like $1 million. What is that? $21 trillion market cap, right? Something like that. People are going to wait. The opportunity with Bitcoin is the fact that nobody has it. Nobody has it. Go on the street and ask people how many Bitcoin there are. Go on the street and ask people how much Bitcoin they have. Ask people on the street. They might know what the price is. I doubt it. Maybe, but likely not. If you go to a party and start talking about Bitcoin, you're going to look like a freak. If you go to anywhere you go, really, if you talk to a financial advisor, they're going to think you're stupid. There's your opportunity with Bitcoin. Seriously, the fact that nobody has it, and if this strategic reserve really happens with Trump and we end up having the United States buying up 1 million Bitcoin, what do you think other countries are going to do? Do you think they're just going to sit there and let the United States take all the Bitcoin? Why would they do that? They're not going to let that happen. The price is going to go up. What happens if Michael Saylor keeps buying Bitcoin and has 700,000 Bitcoin, and, you know, we just see more and more halvings where the amount of Bitcoin being produced gets cut in half every 4 years. More people keep buying up more and more, become long-term holders and don't sell. It's just, I mean, guys, like, what else? I don't understand what else has to happen for people to be bullish about this. And I mean, it's never been more clear. Bitcoin's never been this, you know, it's always been riskier prior to this. You just have these systems in place now for capital to just flow into something where there's a fixed amount, and that gets lost on people. Oh, what is that? I think it's a turkey vulture. Sorry, I'm seeing a lot of animals today on the road, but yeah. My message today is this: everyone needs to get as much Bitcoin as possible. You're not too late to Bitcoin. It doesn't matter if it's $100,000. Your kids are not going to be able to buy Bitcoin for $100,000. They're not going to be able to have as much Bitcoin as you have the ability to buy today. It doesn't matter. It's like buying Bitcoin 10 years ago. You know, you didn't need that much money. What was important is that you bought the Bitcoin, didn't sell it. You didn't need to put $1 million into it to get $1 million. The important thing is that you put money into Bitcoin. You didn't lose it. You didn't sell it. And the value of the dollar went down. So the value of the Bitcoin, by comparison, is more dollars. And if everyone starts buying up all this Bitcoin, no one's selling it. Because look, if this keeps happening, like, it's just going to be, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy have 1 million Bitcoin. BlackRock ETFs have 2 million Bitcoin. Satoshi has 1 million Bitcoin. 4 million are lost. You know, you got Bhutan mining Bitcoin. You have El Salvador buying Bitcoin every day. They have legal tender status for Bitcoin. I mean, it's just, you got Trump talking about buying Bitcoin. don't know what else to say. I mean, I don't know what else people need to hear. I don't know what else people need to hear. I mean, you have the president just talking about buying this, and there's a limited amount. It doesn't matter if the whole world wants 20 times more Bitcoin than they want today. There's not going to be any more of it. People like me are not going to sell it. People like MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor are not going to sell. People like BlackRock, you know, these clients, they have money. They're not going to sell it. They might put 1% of Bitcoin, turns into 2%, 3% of their portfolio. Like, maybe they rebalance, but if they're smart, why would they? There's just going to be a point where people are just going to want this Bitcoin. There's not going to be enough of it. What happens if no one wants to sell you the Bitcoin? What if Bitcoin's $100,000 and you want to buy it and everyone's like, no thanks, we're not selling it for $100,000. It's worth more than that. We're not giving it to you. You're going to have to give us more money. And the US government will continue to print and print and print. We just hit $36 trillion in debt. I'm sure it's higher now that it's been, you know, a few days. But this is, you know, the name of the game is to just buy it and to hold it, not sell it, accumulate. Don't look at the price too much. Don't get, you know, don't trade with leverage. Don't think you're smarter. Don't think you can time the market. You know, you don't have to. Because really, if you're buying no matter what, then you're going to hit the dips. And Bitcoin's the highest it's ever been. So, I mean, does it really matter when you bought it? Like, you're making money the least risky way. You don't have to wait for Bitcoin to go down to start buying. In fact, I absolutely wouldn't do that. I think there's going to be, you know, a point where Bitcoin's $1 million and most people have none. Most people will be struggling, trying to get, you know, $10,000 together to get 1% of a Bitcoin. They're not, forget about a tenth of a Bitcoin. They're not going to have $100,000 for this. You know, and that's at $1 million. If Bitcoin hits $1 million, it's going to 2 million. You see? And no one's going to have any Bitcoin because all the Bitcoin is already in the hands of people. That's what people don't realize, is that most of the Bitcoin is gone. Most of the Bitcoin is lost in long-term holder hands, whales, people that are not ever going to get rid of it. Ever. It's already gone. It's not, this is going to happen. I'm not saying I think this is going to happen. This has happened already. There's 6% left of the supply to be mined. 6%. You know how if you get a 94 on your paper in school, you think, wow, that's a really good grade. You know? You know why? Because 6% is nothing. 94% is by all intents and purposes, it's the large, you know, majority. It might as well be 100. 6% is nothing. So get as much as you can now before you have BlackRock clients, you know, ETF, big money. There's already, I don't know, 40 billion in there, probably more right now. Michael Saylor with 330,000 Bitcoin, 4 to 5 million Bitcoin lost. That could be more. You have countries, President Donald Trump talking about buying Bitcoin. This is going to cause game theory to go off throughout the world. It's just, I just need to tell somebody. I'm making this video because I need people. Like, the worst thing that could happen is Bitcoin goes to $1 million, and the only people who get rich are people who already have money because they're the only people buying it. You have a limited amount of time here, and time's running out. I mean, you can always buy Bitcoin. You're never too late, but the time's running out to get like a, you know, a reasonable amount for yourself. Like, I'm still buying at these prices, but like, it's tough, you know, even if you want 1% of a Bitcoin, $1,000, it's going to be a grind. You know, it's not like buying it for 200 or 300 for one 100th. And I just think everyone's sleeping on Bitcoin. I think a lot of people's problems would be solved. They just, you know, saved their wealth in Bitcoin and they got richer over time instead of being completely debased. But that's my message today, guys. Try to get as much Bitcoin as you can. Try not to sell it. And don't let the whales and the wealthy people who already have everything control all of it. They already own most of it. and everyone's gonna be fighting over what's left. Get what you can before it's too late. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like these updates, and yep, talk to you later.